Ready. Play.
Here we are for another prediction moment, a prediction of every single match at the upcoming tournament on the ATP side in Rome, aka the Eternal City. Let's see if my predictions will be eternally right. Here we go. ATP Rome, let's go. Underway at the beginning, of course, we have Djokovic against Bai. We all know how that one ends up. Of course, Djokovic returning from the elbow injury that has kept him out and has hindered him through pretty much all of the clay court season. So far, how far do you have him going in Rome? Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that like button, of course. The unfortunately named Van Asch, easily mispronounced. Hopefully I haven't done so. Let's have him progressing at the expense of Echeverry. Stan Wawrinka, Stan the man. That would be cool if him and Djokovic end up meeting. Let's see if that eventuality materializes. And we'll have Filip Krajinovic overcoming Martin Fucsovics, but that one really could go either way. Let's go with Muller, the qualifier, over Kyle Edmund, and we will go for... Let's go for Alexei Popyrin in the All-Australian clash there to beat Christopher O'Connell. We'll also go for... Let's go for Marcus Giron over Safulin. I thought Giron was pretty good in Munich a few weeks back. Good to see Sebi quarterback. Fingers crossed he doesn't pull out. Of course, he pulled out the last minute in Madrid. Fingers crossed he can stay fit and healthy all the way through to Roland Garros as well. Our good friend of the show, you've heard of that before, Miomir Kecmanovic, or as friends call him, Misha. Fognini against Andy Murray. Dear, the old foes in the Eternal City. Let's go with Andy Murray overcoming his nemesis Fognini there. That'll be an interesting one that I'm sure many of us are looking forward to. Let's go for another friend of the show, Artur Fils. Of course, we interviewed him a couple of weeks ago. Make sure you check out that interview. And you can do so by subscribing to the channel and checking out some of our previous interviews. Okay, so flipping on through, let's go for Rinderknecht over the Italian qualifier Cobolli. Let's go for Bublik, by the way, who played really well in Madrid, I thought, against Rune, and was really unfortunate to come off second best in that deciding set tiebreaker. So we'll see how that turns out. Ben Shelton, by the way, has a 4-5 record on clay at the moment. I am hoping that he ends up finishing the clay season with a positive record, or at least equal, if only to justify my prediction that that would occur. I say 4-5, I'm including challenges in that stat. Okay, Botic, by the way, Botic van der Zandschulp, I think he's just changed coach recently, or acquired a new coach, so be interesting to see how that one pans out. Let's go for Les Loger, I should say, not Zleslo. Let's go for Garin over Cashin in the Battle of the Inns. Let's see which one, well, we know which one's going through, but cash in is going to be cashing out. It doesn't even make sense, because if you cash out, you win, right? Yeah, you get it. Christian Garin's going through. Okay, Nakashima over Berrer, but that one could go either way. Let's go for Gasquet to beat Wu. And we will have Sebastian Baez, the Argentinian, in the South American clash against Varillas, emerging the winner. Kokkinakis has managed to qualify. Good for him. But I see Munar winning. Sinner, good to see him back, by the way, as well. He's had a brief spell out. He had to pull out of Madrid, which is a real shame, I thought, for the tournament. I see Sinner being in amongst the potential winners. Do you have him as a winner? If you do, let me know in the comment section below. If you don't, you can still let me know in the comment section below. Home favourite, Stefano Napolitano. Count how many times I say home favourite ahead of mentioning an Italian, and let me know in the comment section below. Let's have him beating Molchan. Let's go for Cressy, the Serve volleyer, to beat Guido Pella. of Argentina. Let's have Cecchinato, another friend of the show. There's just so many friends of the shows these days. But no foes. Not yet, anyway. Caroline Garcia. Okay, let's go with... Ooh, Jarry against Hanfman. Let's go for Jarry in that one. And we'll go for Quinton Hallis, another guy that we've interviewed recently too. Make sure you check out some of those. And we will go with David Goffin as well to progress at the expense of the home favourite Luca Nardi. Let's go for Husler over Hubler. Hubler? No, Husler Kubler even. I'm getting my H's and my K's muddled up, but here comes another H, even if we don't say it. Ugo Humbert over Emil Rusevori. But actually, I think I'm going to go for the Finn to beat Humbert. Of course, Rusevori, really, really close to beating Alcaraz. Really struggling with the names tonight, but I'm sure you'll forgive me. Or maybe you won't. Either way, we move on. Who else is going to be moving on? Let's go with Lajovic to move on at the expense of Borges. Home favourite Sonego over Jeremy Chardy. And we will go with Diego Schwartzman upsetting the home favourite on this occasion, Matteo Arnaldi, the wild card. Let's go with Altmaier doing a similar trick against another Italian there as well. And we will go for Manarino to beat Montero. And we'll go for Carballes Baena over Delian. And any more coming up? Yes, we've got a couple more matches to consider, which will be, let's go for Ramos Vinolas over Passaro. And we will go for Fabian Morozan, whatever. You get the idea. He's going through, and he won't care how I pronounce his name as long as he beats Corotin Moutet. Okay, Djokovic's first match up against the unfortunately named Van As. Let's go for Djokovic, Wawrinka to beat Dimitrov. Tricky one, that one. But I've gone for Wawrinka just because I want that clash to occur between him and Djokovic. Okay, no, that's not the only reason. I think Wawrinka's having a pretty good season so far. Let's go for Norrie, who was slightly disappointing perhaps in Madrid, to beat Muller. Let's go for Krajinovic over Di Manor. Don't ask me why. Felix, by the way, again, he's somebody who really has either disappointed or been absent for large parts of this season, but let's go with him over Alex Popyrin. Let's go for Sebi Korda. Fingers crossed he actually takes to the court to beat Giron, but if he does and he's anywhere close to his best, which will be difficult, bearing in mind, I think we've barely seen him, or if we've seen him at all since Australia. Let's go with Kecmanovic to beat Andy Murray. Sorry, Andy Murray and his fans. Murray, of course, is having a bit of a renaissance maybe this year, and particularly obviously winning that Challenger tournament recently in the south of France, but I think Kecmanovic will prove too strong, maybe over 3 sets. Let's go for Holger Rune over Artur Fils, and let's go with Casper Ruud, who really, Estoril apart, has had a largely disappointing year. Let's go with Ben Shelton, to get some more wins on the clay, this time at the expense of Alexander Bublik. Let's go for Botic to beat Les Loger. Let's go for Christian Garin to beat Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul, of course, losing to Andy Murray recently in that aforementioned Challenger. And let's go for Khachanov over Nakashima. Sorondolo over Gasquet. Let's go for Sebastian Baez over Grigspor, shall we? Jannik Sinner as well. He spent a brief period off the tour, but he's back now, which is great. Let's go with Rublev to go through. Davidovich Fokina as well. How long will it be before Davidovich Fokina wins the title? I don't see it occurring in Rome, but, you know, he's one of the best players on tour, and I think him and Struff are the highest-ranked players currently on the tour who have yet to win a title. Struff, of course, making the Masters 1000 title in Madrid, has decided to skip Rome and take a bit of time off and recharge those batteries ahead of one final push before Roland Garros, I suspect. Let's go for Roberto Bautista Agut over Cecchinato. Let's go for Taylor Fritz over Jarry. It's about time we saw Taylor Fritz produce some really top results, in my opinion. Sorely absent in the way I see it this year. Let's go for Hubi Hurkacz over Quinton Hallis. Let's go for Zverev over Goffin. Zverev, of course, got to the semi-finals, I think, in Rome in 2021. before losing to Rafael Nadal. Nadal, of course, is absent again from Rome. I say again in this clay court season, but I think it's the first time he's been absent from the Italian capital in the best part of 20 years. Okay, let's go for Zapata Marias, and we'll go for Rusevori to beat Medvedev. We'll go for Tsitsipas over Lajovic, and we'll have Tsitsipas, by the way. I see his ranking has dropped a little bit recently. Pretty sure he was higher than 5, but could be wrong on that one. I have been wrong before. Even Nostradamus from time to time gets things wrong. Let's go with Sonego over Nishioka, and we'll go with Musetti over Schwartzman. Schwartzman really having a rough time with things, and I don't think seeing things improving in Rome, where, of course, he was a finalist in 2020 before losing to Djokovic. Let's go for Tiafoe to get a win in the Italian capital over Altmaier. Let's go for Borna Coric, of course. He was a semi-finalist in Madrid. And we'll go for Daniel Evans over Baena. Let's go for Lehecka and Carlos Alcaraz in that all-Spanish affair at the bottom of the draw in round 2. Okay, Djokovic, Wawrinka. Djokovic is winning. I think it's a bit of an urban myth that Wawrinka has an Indian sign over Djokovic. I think he's basically, it's something like 17-2, 17-3 in the Serbs' favour. It's just that one or two very memorable victories. I remember one at the US Open a couple of years back when Djokovic had I think he had an elbow injury at the time then as well. And that was one of the victories. And of course, the French Open final as well of 2015, I believe, is another notable feather in Stan's cap regarding this head-to-head. But overall, Djokovic is king, and I expect him to prolong his reign in Rome. Let's go with Norrie over Krajinovic. Let's go with Felix over Sebi Korda. I think if Sebi Korda was close to his best or at his best, I would go for Sebi, but first tournament in a long, long time. For the American, let's go for Holger Rune over Kecmanovic. Let's go with Shelton over Casper Ruud. Let's go for Garin over Botic. Khachanov over Cerundolo, Sinner over Baez. Let's go for Davidovich Fokina to beat Rublev. Rublev on a bit of a, not a downer, but just a little bit of a lull, I think, after the Monte Carlo success he had. Let's go with Taylor Fritz over RBA. Zverev to beat Hurkacz. Rusevori over Miralles, Zapata Miralles. Tsitsipas, and let's go with Musetti in his homeland, home favourite. You got it. You know the drill. Don't forget to hit the like button, by the way. Let's go for Borna Coric over Dan Evans and Carlos Alcaraz to beat the number 32 seed Australian Open quarterfinalist Jiri Lehecka. Next round, please. Djokovic, Norrie. What are we now at? Round 16, aren't we? Yeah, round 16. Well, these are some pretty tasty clashes now. It's taken a while for this tournament to get going. Let's go with Djokovic in 3 tight sets over the Brit Cam Norrie. That one could go either way, though, I think. Djokovic, of course, just still feeling his way into the clay court season. It's been a bit interrupted somewhat, either through form or injury, but let's see him progressing to the quarterfinals in Rome, where I think he pretty much always reaches the quarterfinals. I believe it's been a long, long time, maybe like 15, 20 years since he failed to reach that level. I think he went out in the qualifiers about 15 years ago. But someone, I'm sure, will correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments section below. Let's go for Holger Rune over Felix. Let's go with Christian Garin over Ben Shelton. Jannik Sinner over Khachanov. Davidovich Fokina over Taylor Fritz. Let's go for Zverev to have one of his best runs on clay so far this clay court season. Let's go with Tsitsipas, and we'll go with Alcaraz 2. Here we go. Holger Rune to beat Novak Djokovic, just as he did in Paris-Bercy last year. This time on the clay in Rome. Let's see if he can repeat the feat. I'm predicting him to do so. Let's go with Jannik Sinner to go through as well on home turf, on the dirt in Rome. Let's have that, please. Let's go with Davidovich Fokina to beat Zverev, and let's go with Alcaraz to beat Tsitsipas. Now, things are interesting in the semi-finals. I will have an all-Spanish affair at the bottom half. We'll have an Italian against a Dane in the top half. An all-European affair in one of the European capital cities. Apologies to anyone else from other parts of the world. Let's go with Alcaraz, but let's make it 3 sets. But I do see Alcaraz beating Davidovich Fokina. Davidovich Fokina is one of the few people that's actually pushed Alcaraz, I would argue, during this clay court season in Barcelona a few weeks ago when they exchanged breaks of serve. And I think the first set went to a very close tie break before Alcaraz managed to win that and then go on to win in straight sets. Didn't drop a set in Barcelona, but Davidovich Fokina was the person who pushed him closest. This could be dynamite. Fingers crossed. In the other affair, we'll go with Jannik Sinner to beat Holger Rune. And now we have Jannik Sinner in Rome against Carlos Alcaraz, trying to continue his run after winning in Barcelona and in Madrid. Let's go with Jannik Sinner to win his first Masters 1000 title in Italy over the dynamite Carlos Alcaraz. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well and click the notification bell so you can get alerts on all of our videos that are up and coming. They're going to be coming to you thick and fast throughout the clay court season and beyond. So make sure you follow us and also get in the comment section below whether you agree or whether you disagree with some of my predictions. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.